So happy to chat with my next guest. Great to see another Canadian on the Contender Series. And she's got a really interesting fight coming up here September 5th on the show. It is Corinne Laframboise joining me here on the program. Corinne, how are you?
I'm good. Super good, James. And you?
I'm doing awesome. So I actually saw you fight a long time ago. TKO 40, the champions card. That was the card with, TKO 41. That was the card with TJ Laramie and Charles Jourdain in the main event. It was at the Bell Center, and that was one of your early fights. Have you been able to kind of look back on your career? I mean, that was 2017, and now here you are potentially fighting for a UFC contract. That's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, super good. It's been a long time though. I didn't watch myself since that long. So I think it was against who? Remember me, because it's been
I'm trying to remember the opponent, but I did watch the here. I'll find it right now. I know you won the fight. Let me find the name here, because I know there was another here. Let me just double check. I want to make sure I got everything.
Great Ecart or
yes, that's you fight. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Yeah, that was that fight.
I fought at the Bell Center, and the first time that I did 3 rounds, full 3 rounds, and she was like, she had the head of rubber. I can hit her, punch her, and she never dropped down. So it was a hell of a fight. That was a good fight though. The boxing
that card. If you go look back on who was on that card, it's pretty incredible. Yourself, you had Jesse Arnett, you had Tony Laramie was on that card, Jesse Ronson, Marc-Andre Barrios, Charles Jourdain, and TJ Laramie in the main event. Like that was, and being at the Bell Center, I just remember what a good show it was for a regional event. It was amazing.
True. So, it was.
Anyways, enough reminiscing here. I actually don't know how you got into combat sports. So where did this journey start for you? How did you get into MMA?
I started with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I did a lot of competition, and that was my main sport that I started 10 years ago. I used to love doing that. I still, but I love to do that. But the competition and you need to pay for all the competition. If you need to pay for the flight tickets, your coach, the food, la la la. So I decided to get paid for doing what I like to do, what I love to do in life. So I turned right away in the pro MMA. No amateur, pro right away. I did a bit of boxing, of Muay Thai, and that's a big story. That's how I turned in the fight world.
Well, and I'm sure it helped too when you were coming up. There were a lot of, MMA fighters from Montreal, George St. Pierre, Patrick Cote, seeing them find success. I'm sure that had a big impact on you as well, going from jiu-jitsu to MMA.
Yeah, it helps for sure. When you talk about like George, the wrestling style, that helped a lot. Pat Cote, we train actually at the same gym, Brazilian top team here.
Yeah.
Like Fabio Holanda is a really good coach of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I think that helped. He used to train George at his beginning too. So I think that makes a huge difference to work with people who love what they do too. So Jiu-Jitsu is my base for MMA style.
So tell me when you found out about this opportunity, and were you expecting this? Because you never know with Contender Series, they tend to pick a lot of American fighters.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. Like the last time I fought, it was more than a year ago. And I was like, okay, I want to... That was the goal since the beginning. I want to go in the UFC, and then that didn't change. That was my goal since the beginning. And after all those times, I think after 10 months or 11 months that we have the call, and my manager just called me. I remember myself driving, and he just called me and said, so what do you think about that? We had the opportunity to go to Dana White's Contender. Are you into it? Even if it's been a long time the more 1 year that you didn't fight, are you into it? Yeah, for sure. You don't miss that opportunity. I'll shine right like a diamond over there. The September 5th it is. And for sure, I take the opportunity to do it, to get my contract in the UFC.
And a good opponent here, a 5-1 record. What do you know about her? How do you feel like you match up against her here?
She's how I feel about her. Like, it's like all the other one. Like, we watch her style at the beginning of the training camp. As I said, we watch what she's doing good and what she's doing wrong, or what's her strength and weakness. And after that, it's gonna be all on me. I decide when I want to bring that fight. Do I want to bring it like we wrestle? I bring it on the ground. We boxing, exchange it, or so it's like another opponent who's gonna help me to go get that contract in the UFC. So
Absolutely.
I feel like
you,
she's good on everything. It's gonna be a good opponent to make me shine that night.
Absolutely. It's a great fight. People got to be watching that. Now, you have as many wins as she has fights. She's only got 6 fights. You've got 8 wins. And I don't know if people realize this. You fought some really good competition in your career. You fought Jamie Lynn Horth, who's in the UFC. You fought Manon Fiorot for UAE Warriors. You actually went 3 rounds with her. If people don't know, go check out that fight. How much will that experience help in an opportunity like this? Because, we hear of fighters getting nervous. You've fought under some pretty big situations. How much will that help you?
Yeah, but we never said no to an opponent. Like we need to fight all the people, even if the result is as I wish or not. We gain experience with that. So we never said no to an opponent, and I felt like the biggest struggle that I had in the fight, it was against Manon Fiorot. She's right on point with the distance, with the punch, with the combo. It was fudge, a real war. You can watch that fight. It was a real war, and it finished at the end of the third round, like 10 or 15 seconds, I think. And it was definitely one of my big challenge. So after that, I tell myself that nothing's gonna be like this. So, and she's number 2, 3, or she's ranking in top.
If she wins her next fight, she might be fighting for the title. I mean, she's fighting Rose Namajunas, who I realize is coming up, but that's still a good win to have on the resume, beating Rose. So she could be right there. I mean, and by the way, that's the last time you've lost a fight. Like, that's a really, of all losses to have, that's not a bad one to have. It's aged quite well.
No, exactly. Correct.
Yeah. So that's always good. Let's go back to camp a little bit. Who have been some of your main training partners helping you get ready for this fight?
I have Charles Jourdain, who helping me a lot for all the managing the MMA, what the strategy is gonna be. So he helped me a lot on that part. I have Linda Moret, who's a Olympic wrestler. So I'm doing my wrestling with her and all the wrestling team. I have Juliana Nogueira, who's black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Brianna Sainte-Marie too. She just finished second at the ADCC trial. So I have quality people around me. So they kick my ass in every training. So we need to increase the performance, and that gives me a good challenge, and I evolve in that. So I have good partner.
How about the weight cut? Everything going well? Making 125?
It's always 125. It's much better. I used to do I did 115 once, and in the regular life I walk around 145, like, and cool for me, but muscle up. So when it's time to lose weight, 125, I really appreciate it, and that goes well. I should touch wood, but all goes well on that part. I feel strong with energy, so confidence about that. I have 12 fights actually, and it's gonna be the 13. So it's I know myself by cutting weight, so good on that part.
Who's going to be heading to Las Vegas with you? Who will be in your corner for this fight?
It's going to be Fabio Olanda, who's my head coach since the beginning, and Charles Jourdain, who's going to be my training partner for the beginning, and we work a lot on that training camps together, so I want him to be with me over there.
What's your prediction? How do you see the fight playing out?
I would like to have a submission. Submission is the most satisfying way to finish that you can have. That's the opponent to decide to tap, she quit. That's perfect. She cannot say that's a lucky punch. But if the lucky punch is there, I'll take it too. No problem for that. But a prediction, submission. I don't know. I don't know which round, but submission.
There we go. We're looking forward to it. What are your thoughts about the flyweight division right now in the UFC? It's kind of going through a bit of a transition. I mentioned that Rose obviously is moving up. You've got Aaron Blanchfield. Like, do you keep an eye on the flyweight division in the UFC?
Yeah, I keep an eye on the flyweight division, and I'm pretty sure that I have my like slowly but surely, but I know I have my place over there. And why not a rematch against Manon Fiorot? When she gonna win that fight soon against Rose? So let's see like how it goes. But I expect to yeah, I have a look on the flyweight division for sure.
That's great. The UFC's got to come back to Montreal, right? I can't believe they haven't been back this long. I know I live in Vancouver, so I've been really spoiled. We've had the last two Canadian cards here, but I don't know why they won't come back, because Montreal used to be like a regular destination for the UFC.
Yeah, and we have a lot of fighter too. Like there is Charles Jourdain, yeah, Ayman Zahabi. There's Marc-André Barriot, who's from Quebec, but I mean like in the region of Montreal. And there is Johan Lennes.
Johan Lennes, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fighter, and it's gonna be Corinne Laframboise too. So a good reason to come back in Montreal.
Right? I agree. Before we go, what are some of your other hobbies outside of fighting? What else do you like to do?
I like to. But I work sometimes, like I'm a dental hygienist. So I work at the dentist, different field, but that changed my mind sometimes. And I like to do a motorcycle. I have my drive license, and like you can feel the freedom and the adrenaline, other kind of adrenaline than the fight over there. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing also some when we have contract, but movie stunt. So
oh no way, you do stunt work. That's cool.
Yeah, stunt work. I like it. It's less painful than in the octagon, but I like that. I gain a
there's I'm trying to remember what fighter used to do stunt. I think Frank Trigg, who used to fight in the UFC, he does stunt work. I think. So,
I didn't know. But
so there we go. That's kind of cool. By the way, how's the weather in Quebec? I went to university in Ottawa, and I know we have they have similar weather. It's really humid this time of year, isn't it?
Actually, yes. That's why I curl my hair. Usually I have it straight, but it's
hot.
Like,
it's hot.
What 25 degrees outside, but a lot of humidity comparatively to. I was in Vancouver 3 weeks ago, for
oh really,
for anniversary, yes. And we can see that it's more dry over there. I guess it depends where you are, but
because they're closer to the ocean. It's because of the ocean. You don't get as much humidity. I think that's why. But it's funny. It's funny you say that. We're getting a heat. So I live in Vancouver. We're getting a heat wave here now. It's really hot right now. I got my fan on in my office. You can't even see it. I'm sweating right here. So it's a good time of year though, right? Because in the winter it gets pretty cold in Montreal as well, right? So.
Oh yeah. You can have a -40 in Montreal during the winter and a lot of snow. And but I like that. I don't complain. We are doing snowboarding.
Beautiful city. Anyone who's never been to Montreal, you got to go. There's no city like Montreal in North America. It's the closest thing to a European city, I think. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it depends. I like the lifestyle in Montreal. Now it's a little bit more quiet since that COVID. But the lifestyle in Montreal, if you want to have a great weekend, we are good to handle it in Montreal. For sure.
And this is going to be a good fight. You got to watch it. It's Dana White's Contender Series, September 5th. Corinne, thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. If there's anyone you'd like to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to mention, I'll give you the last word.
I really want to thank my team and my partner, as we talked at the beginning, like Fabio Landa's doing a lot for me. Charles Jourdain, Juliana, Linda, the Zilberman, at the wrestling club, Ian Makelop for the boxing part, and my fiance for the psychologist side of it. So he support me a lot in that. So I think I'm well rounded, and that's for the people who I want to thank for that fight.